There we go.
All right. Yeah. Hey, this is the School of Leadership Development radio show with your host, Angel Vallejo, here to love, serve, and transform business and life. And I'm really excited. I want to applaud each and every one of you that are chiming in right now, live, and also on the recording. And I just want to, for those of you that have been following along, we've been on this topic of personal growth and how important it is to leadership. And
Oh, lost you for a second.
oh yeah, okay. So I had a call coming in. So we have this idea. We've been going over this personal growth, and can you hear me? Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
perfect. So those of you that are chiming in live and also on the recording, I just want to applaud you. Leadership is something that is nothing to be sneezed at. I mean, leadership is incredible honor to walk in leadership, and I believe that each and every one of you that are listening now have leadership and leadership qualities. And if you don't believe that yet, take my belief, because it many times is I have enough belief in you that just run with it. Okay, so this whole idea for today is on personal growth, and I want to start with a quick quote from Maslow. He talked about once you choose to, one can choose to go backward or choose to move forward towards growth. So if you want to move backward towards what's already known and the safety of the comfort, or we can move towards growth, which is the unknown. And we know sometimes it might be painful, but the outcome would be much bigger. He also talks about that growth must be chosen again and again. It's not a one-time event, and fear must be overcome again and again. So, what is it that you know that you've been called to do that's going to take growth? And write it down. We have a special guest today that's going to bring some nuggets and some insights. And my prayer and hope is that for those of you listening, that you would get something out of this, that you would take one little thing and run with it. The whole idea is to be able to grow, even if it's a micro improvement. And so today I have none other than Mr. Henry Klauke, and he helps consultants and coaches basically get more clients. So if you have a website, if you got a maybe a video that you shot that you want to get more eyeballs on it, or if you want to drive more traffic to an event or a website or something that you might have, he's an individual that can help with that. But not only that, he is a man of faith, and I am really excited. I want to thank you, Henry, for coming on, taking some time out of your day to just share a little bit about your journey and who you are and what you're up to. So can you hear us okay?
You're welcome, Angel. Yeah, it's so great to be here.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So if you could, how's everything going over there?
Oh, it's going great. We've got over a foot of snow over the past couple weeks here in Cody, Wyoming.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. My heart goes out to all those, everyone that's having that extreme weather, right? Today, this morning, man, I woke up with an attitude of gratitude, and I'm like, I am so grateful that I have heat. It was below zero. Yeah, we're out in the Midwest right now, and it
right.
was below zero. And I'm like seeing all these posts from people in other states that are their electricity is going out. And so I was just like, man, I'm so grateful for the small things, just for waking up, for having oxygen in my lungs, for being able to have food in the refrigerator, having electricity, just the little things that we take for granted sometimes are
So true.
just, yeah, it's so good just to be like, okay, what can I be grateful for today? And so
Right.
yeah, it's it's
Yeah.
get cold though, man. It's colder than polar
Yeah.
bear toenails out here, man.
That's right. I always love indoor plumbing. That's a huge gratitude. That's always great to have. You got running water. I'm grateful for the snow because the sun like bounces off it, and my lighting has been amazing on Zoom and stuff.
Yeah, it's been nice. Over here too. We've been getting sunlight, so it feels like it's warm,
Yeah.
but it's I mean it's super cold. But it's the sun is out and there's no clouds and stuff, so that's really cool. So awesome. So those of you that are chiming in, go ahead and put on in the comment box, what are you grateful for today? Even if it's the little things or the huge things that are happening in your life, we're excited for you, and I'm excited to have Henry on the line today. So just go ahead and share a little bit about yourself.
Sure, Angel. So, like I said, I'm here in Cody, Wyoming. It's been a heck of a journey the past couple of years, and a faith-filled one for sure. I know that's a big point that you and I connected on, where I felt pretty much like led here. So I grew up in the Midwest in Chicagoland, and I was living in Boston past 3 years after college, and I just felt this calling to go to Wyoming, like it was where I was supposed to be, and it's the place for me, at least so far, since September, 5 months ago or so when I moved here.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. And I want to kind of dig into that a little bit. What do you mean by being like you felt led there? Like, what can you share a little bit about how that kind of progressed or whatnot?
Yeah, sure. Um, it's just these little messages, you could call them. So back in 2018, I was just as a totally different Henry, one you haven't met before, Angel, but
Yeah.
not a man of faith. He was working in the corporate world and still drinking on the weekends, like that old college habit, things like that. A lot of stuff that I've shed since then. And
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I was never crazy about Boston to begin with. I liked it, but I knew it wasn't permanent. It was just like a stepping stone place. So I was looking for other places to live, and looking at. I was really into financial independence, and really focusing up on my expenses and income, because it was my first job out of college. I was like, man, I got to figure this stuff out with these
Yeah.
expenses and income. So anyway, I was looking at taxes, because of course that's location based, and
Mm-hmm.
there's 7 states in the U.S. that have no state income tax. It's New Hampshire, Florida, Texas. There's a couple more, maybe Tennessee, Nevada. I know, and Wyoming is one of them. And when I saw
Mm-hmm.
that list, it was like Wyoming was highlighted, popping out at me on my computer screen,
Yeah.
and I was like, why the heck would I, like, what people ask me, why would you move there? So I wasn't ready for the message. But in 2020, early in the year, I kept getting more and more of those types of things where I would overhear a conversation. Someone would mention Wyoming, and I was like, that's weird. Or someone would recommend me. They were like, oh, I recommend this Netflix show. It's set in Wyoming. It's called Longmire or whatever. Like, what the heck? So
Oh,
just
wow. Yeah.
here and there, and it was just so odd that I finally said, hey, you know what? I got to follow this lead, this
Yeah.
what I believe is really like the Holy Spirit speaking to me through these people.
Yeah, no, man, that's really cool how you're mentioning that. Is that really the when we get something highlighted or we feel like we're getting called somewhere, and us, being believers, we believe in God, and that He is that we make our plans, but He directs our steps, and sometimes He gives us clues.
Yes.
And yeah, it made me think about when because we lived in California, and we felt getting called out of there to the Midwest.
Oh, okay.
Out of all places we could have picked all over the world, we felt we were getting called to Metro Detroit. And it was like, really? Is that really where we're being called to? And so really it was, I think I even took a trip out there to kind of see, explore more. And then my wife was like, oh, well, maybe not. And she even got confirmation. I remember one time we were driving down the beach, and she's like, no, this can't be, I don't know if this is, I need another sign, right? Can I get just one more sign so I can know
Yeah.
for sure that this is the right move that I'm doing?
So funny.
And believe it or not, man, that moment when we were driving, we were driving and we looked up and there was this lady crossing the street with a sweatshirt on with a big old the D on it for the
Yeah.
Detroit Tigers. I was like, oh my goodness, is this real? But
Yeah, it's
anyways, yeah. So
magic.
I could relate as far as that part of just I want to commend you for taking that act of faith and just really going after it. And even though you don't really know how the outcome is going to be, you say, you know what, I'm living my life. It's an adventure, and let's see what's next.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, so another thing that was highlighted there was that you were in corporate. So you graduated school and then you went into corporate America, and then there was a turning point for you where you realized that wasn't for you. Can you share a little bit about that and kind of like how you got into what you're doing now?
Yeah, sure thing. Well, I've always been an entrepreneur. My first business, I was 11 years old, selling selling glow sticks. That go around your neck at the eighth grade football games, the Friday night games,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was a lot of fun. I ended up I ended up positive after borrowing money from the bank of mom to fund
There you
my
go.
glow sticks, and I paid her back and made some profit. So I'd always been entrepreneurial. I forgot a lot of it, or I went into a slumber, you could say, as I got really into sports, and school took over. So yeah, so I went right into the corporate world, into consulting, firm called Accenture. Great company, huge, giant global company. I got a lot of really cool experience where I was actually leading a team of 5 engineers in India. So I
Oh
got
really?
the
Yeah.
international experience, and I got to travel there, meet them, travel all over the world, and learn a lot about network security that I knew nothing, and just like a lot of life skills, a lot of soft skills. My manager at the time was just the greatest guy. He actually left the company a couple months after I did, and so we remained close friends. Good buddy of mine, and just yeah, he's a real mentor for me. And how to run business and how to sell. He was in sales. That was really my first intro to sales, even though I didn't know it at the time. But just
Mm-hmm.
watching him and picking up on what he does. But
Yeah. Not.
the turning point that you talk about, yes, it was. It had to do with that financial stuff that I was looking at in 2018, and it just kept evolving into more personal development. I was never a big reader in school until I graduated, and I realized, oh, I can read stuff that I want to, which turns out to be nonfiction and
Mm-hmm.
personal development. So yeah, I started reading all those. The classics, Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad, and How to Win Friends and Influence People,
Oh
and then
yeah.
the 4 Hour Work Week, which I started getting this idea in my head, like, okay, maybe it's time to look for a side hustle. And so I took a couple online courses and realized, when I took a copywriting course, I said, wow, I could make a career out of this, a business
Yeah.
out of this. And so that's what I decided to do.
Wow, that's great, man. Well, I commend you for doing it at such an early stage in your career, because a lot of people, even
Yeah.
those, there might be people watching now or on the replay that have been wanting to take that step of really doing a side hustle, or maybe just completely just quitting their day gig, right, and just going all into a business. And so what would be one thing that you would recommend somebody that well, first and foremost, what is it, one thing that you wish you would have known before you just jumped out of corporate America into the business world?
Oh man, probably just to do more market research. uh, that's a tough one to answer, because I mean, I learned so much by jumping out that I wouldn't have learned if I was still one foot on the dock, one foot on the boat. If you understand that, like, uh, yeah, I was curious, right, when I was doing it part time, and I had a few clients, and it was more for the fun and the learning. But now, once I stepped out, it was like, uh, so worth it. So yeah, one thing I wish I known. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say, just because I am where I am now because of the pitfalls that I made.
Right.
I do by doing that.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I mean, I do, there's a lot of things that when you just take a step of faith and you just go after it, there's always more to learn. And one thing that what I've learned being on this journey is, because I've been on, running my own business for a long time, and it goes ups and downs. There's been times where I've had to go get another gig or whatnot to like make ends meet. And if just looking back, I know that every time that I continue to move forward, there's you get your highs and your highs and lows, and there's new things that come up, and you continue to learn and grow. And yeah, I'm so thankful, man. I'm so thankful for relationships and for the things that I've learned throughout the process of really yeah. So just yeah, that's great, man. So what about, let's say, for someone that's listening in and that might have the idea to want to become an entrepreneur, what would it be one tip that you give them, or what is some like word of advice that you say, like this is something that I've learned, this is what I've overcome? What does anything come to mind?
Yeah, for sure. I would say make sure you're committed before you make any sort of drastic move like that. I mean, even after I did leave the corporate, I committed to that action. But for the first few months, I was, to be honest with you, Angel, and to all the listeners, is I was treating it like a hobby still. I was still in that mindset of like, oh yeah, like type away for a few hours a day and that's it. But yeah, I really didn't step into that business owner mindset yet. So really just yeah, it's all about commitment. Commitment's a really powerful word that we don't hear much about nowadays.
No,
People say,
absolutely.
yeah, yes,
Commitment. That's a good one. So what are you committed to? If you're not committed, you got to pick something. Commit to it, because commitment is something that really is, you run with it. You pick something and you commit to it, and you know that no matter how long it takes, you're gonna just do it regardless of what happens.
right.
And yeah, so I do thank you for sharing that. And yeah, that's great, man. That's really good. So we have this leadership show that we're on right now, and I want to ask you, and this is one of my signature questions that I ask all
Okay.
my guests, is what does leadership mean to you?
Oh yes, I love it. Well, really, for me, it all starts with self leadership. It's the word discipline comes up, and integrity. Two things that really speak out to me. Because when you're self-employed, you're the boss and you're the employee. So it's your job to lead yourself and plan your days, set your calendar. So yeah, but that's like step one before you could ever think about bringing on a teammate or multiple teammates, a sales team, whatever you want to call it, or even a virtual assistant. People, nowadays they're so accessible. It's like, yeah, just get a VA, but it's like, well, if you're not leading yourself first, a VA is not just going to fix it for you. So yeah, discipline and integrity really show up for me, and it has to do with I'll lean back on Dale Carnegie, where it's my fault, but the teammate gets the credit, right? If something's wrong as the leader, it's your fault. No matter if you believe it or not, there's always the I could have explained this better, or I could have been more accessible to my team if your team has a little hiccup there. But if things go exceptionally well, then it's praise team.
Yeah, no, definitely. Wow. Yeah, there's so much out of that. And okay, so leadership, you're talking about self-leadership. You have to take ownership on who you are, on the team that you're leading. And you mentioned about that you have to take a hit too. If it doesn't go right, who does it lean on? It leans on the leader. And
Right.
and there's also pros and cons, right? Because when you're winning, all the highlight goes to the leader.
Right.
It's like, wow, that person is really doing all the right things. And yeah, so we have a choice in it, and it's awesome, man. It's awesome to be able to be in those spaces, and it's humbling too. And yeah, so I just want to commend you for the all that you've done already, and everything that you're doing in the marketplace now, and the wisdom that you're getting throughout. Yeah, throughout all these books that you're reading, and so you did mention a few books. So what would you think the three major books that have really made it for you, and during this growth journey that you've been on?
Oh goodness, that's a good one. It's funny. I don't know if you ever use Goodreads or anyone use Goodreads. It's like it's owned by Amazon. You could track your reading, and like if you hear about a book, you can put on there like, oh, I want to read that, and like save it to your thing. So I've had like 500 books that I have not read yet that I want to.
Wow.
Just always gets bigger and bigger. And anyway, I bring that up because I was like, man, I feel like I haven't been reading as much lately. But then I looked at the end of the year and I was like, oh, I read 21 books last year. That's not bad. So let's see. Definitely the 4 Hour Work Week. That's what really by Tim Ferriss. It's so it really speaks to that rebel spirit in me of like going against the status quo, going against what society and my parents would what they know to be the best way, which it might be the best way for them, but it really started me to question things. Other than that, I mean, there's this book called Letting Go by David Hawkins, more on the spiritual side. It's all about how we can focus on our emotions and not try to change them, not try to make them any different, but just to see them and let them run their course. And instead of stuffing them down or denying that they're there, and it just raises up your energy and your vibrations. So that's a book absolutely changed my life. I still study it daily. I don't read it, I study it, just taking a couple pages here and there. As for a third book, man, I'm trying to round it out on like business, spiritual, and like maybe something else. There's a book I read by Martin Burkhan, who's basically like the grandfather of intermittent fasting. And so he wrote an excellent book back in like 2008. It's just a short little ebook, and it really explains like what intermittent fasting is, why he does it, and like the science behind it, which I loved. I've been intermittent fasting ever since. It's really changed my life, and I honestly, it sounds kind of weird, but when I started doing it, where I only eat between like certain hours of the day, and then I don't eat after 8 o'clock and before noon, basically. That like hunger turned into what we think about as hunger in the business of wanting more and being ambitious. So it was a big piece of my journey as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. What's the name of that third one that you mentioned?
Oh gosh, it's called like I actually I can't think of it, but it's something like it's what it is. It's the Lean Gains Method. The Lean Gains Method. It's just a short ebook.
Lean Gains Method with the who's the author on there?
Martin Burkhan. I think
Martin
he's Swedish.
Burkhan. That's great, man. I'm glad I asked that question because all those three books I mean, the 4 Hour Work Week, I think everyone has heard of it, and I've heard like snippets of it, but I've never read it myself. So for those of you that are listening in or on the replay, one of them is Letting Go.
Yeah, here, let me this one right here.
Okay, there you go. Letting Go. And
Letting Go.
By who is
by
that?
Dr. David R. Hawkins.
By Dr. David R. Hawkins. And then you also got the 4 Hour Work Week.
Yeah.
And
I don't have that handy, but
yeah, no, that's fine. And then the third one is Lean Gains Method by Martin B. And so those of you that are listening in or on the recording, you could go ahead and comment below. What's a good book that you're reading that you would like to read or that someone has recommended? Leaders are readers. And yeah, it's awesome, man.
Well,
Reading is
yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Well, speaking of leadership and reading at the same time, the book I'm reading right now is called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's a really excellent read. It's basically, if you don't know Marcus Aurelius, he was the emperor of the Roman Empire in the 400s, and this book is basically like his pep talks to himself that he would write down. So it's like, remember, like it would be like, remember, Henry, don't be too blockheaded today, basically. But
Yeah.
way more profound than that. And he was a student of philosophy, so that it's a really cool book. And of course, like one of the greatest leaders of our time. It's worth a look.
That's great, man. And that's Meditations, right?
By Marcus Aurelius. That's right.
By Marcus Aurelius. Good.
Yeah.
That's another writer downer. I'm taking notes here. Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I do appreciate you, jumping on and being a real or whatnot. Is there anything else that you want to share before we get going here?
Just with all the fear that we see today, I just want to remind everybody that, and I'll remind myself too. I can hear my own mouth say it. I always like to repeat lessons that are just timeless. Is fear and faith, they can't live in the same house, right? And fear is just inverted faith, right? You can only have one or the other. So just invite you to step into that faith as much as possible. When I moved across the country, a lot of people thought it was very brave, and they're right. I don't want to discredit myself, but I could move back tomorrow if I wanted to. It's not a huge deal. So yeah, just want to spread the message of faith when there's so much fear out there. That's all.
Nah, man, that's great, man. Fear over faith, absolutely. Faith over fear. Don't get it
Yeah,
twisted.
wait a minute.
Don't get it twisted now. Yeah, faith over fear. That reminded me of I was reading up on some of Stephen Covey's work, and he talked about because this whole month we've been having this theme of personal growth. Oh yeah, there you go, Stephen Covey, 7.
Yeah,
The habits, right, of highly effective people.
great one.
Well, he talked about when it comes to personal growth, he talked about being patient with yourself. And that was something that on an earlier episode, I talked about how this idea of personal growth, sometimes it doesn't happen immediately. And one of my mentors talks about it too. He said, it's like your nails, your fingernails, they grow, right? They're always growing, but we don't see them grow.
Yeah.
It's the same with personal growth. We get these little micro improvements, and it just happens little by little. So he says, be patient with yourself. Self growth is tender. It takes time, and it's holy ground. There's no greater investment than your personal growth and personal investment. And okay, so before we yes, absolutely. That was those are words from Stephen Covey. So where can our online viewers and listeners find you? Where's a good? Where can people find you online?
Sure. I'm most active on LinkedIn right now, so you can just search me up. It's a pretty uncommon name. I should be the only one, so that's pretty easy. Another thing, Angel, is like if I'd love to give a gift for our listeners is we talk about briefly marketing, right? And so in my opinion, the headline is the most important piece of any marketing message. So I put together this cheat sheet on how to write a killer headline. And so for anyone listening today or hitting the replay, I'd love to give you a copy. If you want to go to henrysheadlines.com, you can get yours. I'll rush you a copy just to help you, like lead your prospects into working with you, basically, if we're talking about leadership.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And if you want, the whole idea is you want to be able to get more people, spread your message, and get out there more, right? And one way to do it is to create things that are attractive, headlines that are attractive. So I do thank you, Henry, for sharing that. Again, that's Henry Klauke. You could find him on LinkedIn. And for all of you that are chiming in live and on the replay line, again, I want to applaud you. You are a leader. You have leadership inside of you. I believe in you. And this is the School of Leadership Development radio show. We coming at you live every Wednesday at 12 Pacific. And again, we thank you. Have an amazing, incredible Wednesday. God bless. Thanks again, buddy.
Thanks, Angel. Yes.
See you soon.